Hi, I'm Kristen Burt for LifeScript.com. Actor James Earl Jones has been living with type 2 diabetes for over 20 years. He's joining us today to share his experience, along with Dr. John Anderson, an internist at the Frisk Clinic in Nashville, Tennessee. Mr. Jones, you were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes over 20 years ago. Did you have any symptoms leading up to your diagnosis?
No, it was quite by accident. What happened was I was in this program to lose some weight. It was a diet and exercise program. I was sitting on a bench in a gymnasium, ready to go to work, and I fell asleep. And the doctor who happened to be there said, "That's not normal." So he had me take a test, and there it was, type 2 diabetes. And it hit me like a thunderbolt.
Mr. Jones, was there also a family history with diabetes?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I was aware that certain ethnic groups are at risk, and my mother had it. Other members of my family probably had it too. But that didn't ring a bell for me.
Dr. Anderson, are there any other symptoms patients should be aware of?
Well, patients with type 2 diabetes can have excessive thirst, excessive urination, weight loss, blurred vision, but the real irony is that you can have type 2 diabetes for a long time and have absolutely no symptoms. And so I think as he related, the African American community, people, Asian, Pacific Islanders, Native Americans, Hispanic community are more at risk. So if you have a family history, if you're overweight, if you're one of those ethnic groups, we encourage people to go and get checked and get screened for diabetes because, as Mr. Jones so aptly put, his was an accident, but it was a fortunate accident. We don't want it to have to be an accident for people to get diagnosed.
Now this question is for both of you. What is the most overlooked symptom when it comes to type 2 diabetes?
Probably the thirst issue. I mean, unless you're really key to your body, I would miss the fact that I'm thirsty. Why am I thirsty? Because that's because the body is speaking to you, right?
It is, and so many people will ignore those symptoms for months or even years until they've in a crisis situation.
Dr. Anderson, what should patients know immediately after being diagnosed?
Wow, what a great question. So if you've just been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, Mr. Jones earlier today was talking about the entire team of physicians and caregivers. So you need to learn about your diet, you need to learn about exercise, you need to learn what effect weight has on your diabetes, and you need to talk with your doctor about what treatment plan is going to be right.
And Mr. Jones, what type of treatment plan were you given immediately after your diagnosis?
Exercise mainly, exercise and diet, particularly what I consume. That I had to get immediate control of. For sugar intake, for instance, we all love sugar. That had to stop. So let's just start with that. A better awareness of what I should not be eating, and then better control of what I'm eating. That was the first thing. Then staying active was the other. We all hate the treadmill, but that is our friend, and it's hard to accept that.
It is.
This question is to both of you. What should patients know when it comes to their emotional health after their diagnosis?
I love these questions, Kristen, because emotional framework and everything that we go through every day plays a huge role in diabetes. First of all, people with diabetes can feel a lot of stress in managing their disease, and there's a thing we actually call diabetes stress. People with any chronic condition, but particularly diabetes, have an increased risk of depression, so you have to be looking for that. And one of the things we also like to say is, once a person gets diagnosed with diabetes, the whole family gets diagnosed with diabetes. This really affects every member of the family as well. So this behavioral component, this emotional support you mentioned, is really important when you're talking to patients.
I had two feelings. One was shock, but also relief. I finally knew I had something, and I really felt lucky.
Mr. Jones, where can people go to find more information?
ICanImagine.com.
Thank you, Mr. Jones and Dr. Anderson, for joining us today at LifeScript.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.